ladies and gentlemen. I got a line in my pocket and it's ready to roar. Welcome back to the Shaded Picks podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. We are back. Of course, this is where we break down video games to the shadings and picks topic by topic. And tonight's topic, if you haven't guessed already, is party, baby, party. Everybody loves to party.
That was a good one.
Right, like it. All right, so of course, to my left and underneath, we have the hostesses of the mostesses. Down below, we got my man, Shawn Richards. Heartbreak Kid, say what's up to the people.
What's up?
Oh, there we go. He's getting it going. He's getting it going. If I drink, I do the same thing. Esteban Cuevas, to my left. What's happening, homie?
I am drinking water. I wasn't lying before.
It looks like milk, so I wasn't going to say anything. I was like, oh, snap. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, as always, Bunny 3000 in place to be. Today is Hoodie Bunny, just so that we can get the party going. You know, I don't want my earphones showing or nothing, so, you know, I'm going to keep it tight. Got it up, down. So, like I said before, ladies and gentlemen, it's a party up in here. We are trying to let you guys know basically the games that we've played that are great party games or games that we have experienced in parties or in that kind of a setting that were good to play. So who wants to get this ball rolling, man? You know how we do.
Me?
See? That's how you do it. Volunteer. Get it cracking.
Okay. My list is probably games that are obvious to not obvious. So
I mean, that's
probably most people. So I don't know why I even said that. Okay, I'm going to start with one that should be obvious concerning that I am a fan of fighting games.
Okay.
And I have friends who are not the biggest fan of fighting games, but there is one in particular that they really enjoy, and I enjoyed. And me and my friends, whenever we get together, we usually end up at some point playing Soul Calibur 2.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It was the most popular one. It was the one that was on every console at the time, you know, PlayStation 2, Xbox, GameCube, and especially the GameCube version because Link was on there.
Yeah,
and
that now that I think about it, that was a pretty popular one. No, so wasn't that the first one where they started doing exclusive characters for different consoles?
Yes. Yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, always thinking.
That was the first time they did that, and they got a big one with Link, and I hated him because he was so broken. He was so broken.
Of course, you don't think Nintendo would let one of their flagship characters be terrible.
Basically.
I know, but it's like it was insane because he had in a game where it's 3D and you're supposed to get in close and hit people. Here comes Link, who has not only a projectile but like 3 different projectiles. He has a boomerang, he has a bow and arrow, and he has fucking bombs.
Yeah, that is true. I remember that now. Yes.
Wait, are you telling me he doesn't have the hook shot?
I think it's his throw. I can't remember.
Oh, makes sense. Okay, I'm back in.
I think it's his throw. Which is weird because they did not use it as a projectile, but I guess they went 3 was enough.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah, but other than that, that game is a lot of fun. It's very fast paced. It's very responsive. It's a little glitchy, but it's fun. And
it is. The combos are it was around that time frame. It was one of the brighter, more colorful and more watchable combo-based fighting games out there. You know what I mean?
It stood out.
Tekken kind of held that for a while. It was when Soul Calibur dropped. Anytime Soul Calibur dropped, it was always a visually pleasing game with great music. That just kind of pulled people in, even if they weren't, fans or whatever.
And it was a lot easier to button mash in that game. Soul Calibur 2 is a lot more newbie friendly than a Tekken game.
Yes,
more.
a lot more.
Yeah.
A whole lot.
Or even like a Street Fighter game. It's sort of like Street Fighter is typically a little more involved compared to, say, Mortal Kombat, and that's usually why Mortal Kombat tends to sell a little bit more than Street Fighter. It has that mass appeal. Same difference with Tekken and Soul Calibur. Tekken is a little more, precision heavy, and Soul Calibur is a little more beginner friendly. Not that any of the games don't have their competitive scenes, they absolutely do, and there's definitely strats and all that. But overall, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So when you were at your parties, who was it that you basically rocked any time there was like a crew of people around? Did it like depend on how good everyone else was, or was it just one of those where you were just like, okay, I'm gonna show off tonight, and I'm gonna blast all these people away?
Well, Cervantes has always been my main ever since the very first game, Soul Blade, on the PlayStation 1.
Mm-hmm,
But one of my friends is really good with Talim, and my second main is Raphael. So we would be like, okay, turn off the time, max rounds, let's do this. Raphael versus Tom, and they would go for a long time and be dancing around each other. It was like, who's gonna act first? Who's gonna do the counter? We both know how to do parries very well, so it would be going back and forth. Ching, 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 ching. Who does the low? Ching, to ching, because the lower one is a little slower.
Right. Yeah.
And it was hype. It was hype. It would be a lot of fun. And then there's like some of my friends. One of them was a Yoshi main, so that'd be fun.
He was hard to use.
Yeah.
But he was very, very pretty to use when you had somebody that could do all of his moves and could do them in a sequence. But it was like if you only knew like a couple of them, especially that one where you like stab through.
Yeah.
That one I love, even though it does like damage you a bit. It does so much damage or whatever. So it was like I would always try to do that, and I would always mess it up.
Yeah, I believe it's an unblockable. That's why.
Yeah.
So it's like if you actually got it, it's like you're not getting away from it. So,
yep.
Or you could screw up a lot of times. Like sometimes my friend would just get like nuts and just start mashing. He'd do the helicopter move.
Oh yeah,
fly off the stage.
Yeah, he was a chaotic player. He'd be flying all over the room, rolling around and flipping around.
And it would happen with me sometimes. I play Cervantes, and he has his Geo de Rey move, which is when he charges back and then forward, kind of like a Psycho Crusher, right?
Yeah.
You dodge that shit, and you happen to be right by the ledge. I go flying off the stage, and I go, God damn it!
Yeah.
So it happens.
Yeah. Awesome. Soul Calibur 2.
Yeah,
that's
Soul Calibur
awesome.
2.
Awesome. What about you, Sean? What's your first entry for a party?
So this was more of a type of genre that was a little more bygone, but it is still rocking the scene today. And we all know the Wii is the most magnificent console that ever graced mankind. That's why there's still games for it.
Okay.
Specifically, this one game series that you can just pop out at a party with a Wii, or if you prefer, the Xbox Kinect, because nobody wants to do PlayStation Move or anything else right now.
Okay.
This is true.
Put that in there, pop in the game, and Just Dance.
Yeah.
That was on my list too. Yes. Just Dance is awesome.
It's one of the easiest games to get into, and it's one thing where it has recognizable songs. So you just go in there and you'll have the serious ones, you'll have more goofy ones. So it's just a fun game to pull out and play.
It is. It really is.
I have never played Just Dance.
The very first Just Dance game I played, and it technically, and let me check on this before I misspeak, because I think it's by the same company that does Just Dance. So let me check this real quick.
I have never played Just Dance, but oddly enough, I did play, I think, like an offshoot of Just Dance. ABBA came out with their own dance game for the Wii. I played that.
It wasn't called Dancing Queen. I'm out.
I don't think it was. I think it was called. I think they used the phrase
marketing people.
"You can dance." I think they just used "You can dance." The line from the song.
Mm-hmm.
I played that. I think it works the same way. You use the Wii remote to go in line with the dance motions. But yeah, it's. I was like, isn't this supposed to be like that? Oh boy, because this isn't as good.
And you have other rhythm games out there. I'm just gonna say, like, Rock Band, Guitar Hero. You had those games out there. Mm-hmm. They're probably on your guys' list. I probably just spoiled them. I'm sorry.
You absolutely did.
Yeah, you absolutely do. I hate you, but yes, continue.
Yeah, feel free to hate me. Throw all your hate at me. I will absorb it and throw it back out.
Okay.
Okay, what's up?
Okay, I was gonna say it, and now I can say it. So. My first experience with Just Dance was a spin-off of the series, the Michael Jackson experience.
Oh.
That, I swear, when I first played, that was the thing that I kept remembering about Just Dance was Just Dance wasn't necessarily that hard. It was, for the most part, you had to hit certain points, certain poses for most of the dances, and you could get through most of them, because I'd seen some people that like broke the system, that they knew the right places to be during the song in order to hit it right. So a part of me was like, oh, because I'm a gamer and I know that Just Dance really isn't, blah 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 blah. I think the other one was Dance Central or whatever. So apparently the move system in that one, the actual routines were harder, and it actually graded you more than just the pose. It was like the full dance, right?
Yeah.
But when you had that daggone Michael Jackson experience, the routines in that one were absurd. They were good, and like every single one of the songs were hard as crap. And I swear, the first time, like me and my wife went over to one of her school friends' house, and their son was the same age as our son at the time, and we were trying to do something to get everybody going before it was time to eat. She threw that on, and I swear we were doing that for like another 2-3 hours, everybody trying to beat each other and everything, and everyone knew all the songs because it was Michael Jackson and everything. So it was easy for everyone to get into. It wasn't like, oh, I don't like that one, I don't like that one. It's freaking Michael Jackson. It's just like, boom, go, do it, right? So yeah, that Just Dance is like, I swear, it's the absolute perfect one, because you could throw that on when your grandma comes over for Thanksgiving, and she'll even maybe get up and just go, oh, moonwalk.
Mm-hmm. I just want to point something out just because it made me laugh. Oh, my son and their son was the same age at the time. Since then, I guess your son has aged quicker.
Yeah, of course. You know how that goes. Time kind of works a little bit differently when you get older. So, when you're thinking about stuff in the past, it's always like, yeah, back then it was, they were close. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Just Dance, it's a good one. I guess Michael Jackson experience is the Dark Souls of dance games, though.
Yeah, it kind of was.
Well, doesn't the Michael Jackson experience also have singing parts to it too?
Yes, it did.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yup.
And then there's also the Black Eyed Peas one.
Yeah, I didn't get into.
Don't worry about that one.
Yeah. We don't talk about good artists here.
It's like,
you know what? Black Eyed Peas were legit in the beginning, and then something horrible happened.
It wasn't that it was horrible. They just got popped. You know what I mean? They were good before, but they recognized that they wanted to broaden their fan base, so they got more popular with what they were trying to do. And next thing you know, just start watering down everything they were doing.
Yeah, but at some point they drowned themselves. At one point they drowned themselves.
Oh, yeah, they recognized.
Let's get it started as a good pop song. Dirty Bit, The Time Is Not.
Hey, let's just put it this way. When they were doing it big, they were doing it really, really big.
Yes, my lovely lady.
And it's kind of hard. You get all the way up there and you're like the number one act around the world at that time, then it's where else do you go? But
well, Just Dance, that's a good one, man.
Awesome. That's an awesome one.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is my first entry. Okay. So most of the time, and I'm sure we'll get to other games that were from older systems, but around like the N64 era, and both of you might know what I'm getting ready to say. It was one of the first consoles where you could, have like 4 co-op local right there without having to have a PC. Yeah, easily without having to have a PC or linking to consoles or whatever. So for myself, the N64 was an awesome party console that I could use whenever my cousins were around or I had other friends that came around. So it was a big time party console for me. But the one that always set it off for myself, and I kind of put these two games in tandem because they're basically the same game, just reskinned almost, is GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. Yeah. And the multiplayer in those games were riot fests. Even if you didn't necessarily play the game well or know how to play the game or whatever, the clunky way that some of the characters looked, the over the top weapons and stuff like that, running around trying to find each other in the little weird maps and everything was just absolutely bonkers. And once somebody got a rocket launcher or whatever, like the really big laser was that was in Perfect Dark, that was like on some of the levels or whatever, it was just one of those where you'd be screaming at each other, oh, I can see you, because you can't not see where everyone else is on the screen because they have to split it up 4 ways.
Yeah.
But I absolutely had the time of my life playing against friends and cousins and stuff like that on GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. It was just absolute riot fest, absolute hilarious, delirium when we were playing.
Yeah. I never liked those games.
I absolutely loved them.
I never liked it because I always thought the controls were bad. I mentioned this before because I played the remake of GoldenEye, and I was like, well, the remake's good because it has the more modern controls and everything. I did play GoldenEye and Perfect Dark back when they first came out, and I never got into them because I just thought the controls were bad.
Oh, I lived through it just mainly because I was such a big James Bond fan at the time. Mm-hmm. And, GoldenEye was literally the first really good James Bond game. It had the music and everything. I absolutely loved Pierce Brosnan, whatever. So the fact that he was in the game, even though he looked like,
it
wasn't like the graphics were good.
Everybody looked like that, man.
Yeah, everybody looked like that. But, it was just, it was just one of those things that regardless of what game it was on the N64, I played through it to the point where, because once you get the system and have the system and start playing it or whatever, it's like you're tied to that system because you're not getting another system for a while just because of the expense.
Yeah.
Right. And that's basically where I was with that. I got the Shadows of the Empire because I was like, I have to play that game. I wanted it. And same thing for, Rogue Squadron. I had to play that game. So it was like those were literally one of the first couple of games I got, wrestling games. But when I'm telling you, when GoldenEye dropped, me and my sister and my cousins, if we weren't playing the multiplayer one, we were doing our best to do not even speed runs, but, to try to see how quickly we could get through each one of the levels and stuff like that. And because, I forget what it was. There were like challenges in there. If you could get through there without shooting somebody, if you could get through it, we do little stupid challenges just with ourselves, not even the ones that were in the games.
You invent stuff like how many people can you sneak up on and like karate chop or something?
Right. Yes, that's what it was. The karate chop looked hilarious. So we just go around karate chopping people all the time. Dude, I absolutely loved that game. It was so much fun because it was hilarious.
I should be fair and say that it's not particularly because GoldenEye and Perfect Dark were bad controlling games themselves alone, because I feel the same way about Turok. I feel the same way about
Right. It was
Doom
the
64.
freaking controller.
Yeah, it was the controller.
Yeah.
It was the damn controller.
The dumb
It was the
controller.
damn controller, yeah.
Yeah. The only difference I think is maybe, and I think maybe GoldenEye does this, and I think Doom 64 does this too, where it allows you to plug in 2 controllers and you can use the thumbsticks on each one for each individual like motions that you're supposed to be doing, like how we would use 2 dual analog sticks nowadays.
It's possible. But if you think about it, wasn't that one of the first systems that had a thumbstick on the controller?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the first one to do it right.
Mm-hmm.
And like it was like, oh, this is possible after all. The first one was the Atari 5200, and it had an analog stick that didn't even self-center, so that didn't go well. And because that flopped, ever since then people were like, this probably doesn't work. But then Nintendo came along and went, maybe this can work after all. And they went, maybe it can. Not like this, but it
Kinda,
could.
sorta, but you know what we're thinking.
And then the PlayStation 1 DualShock had it right.
And then that's when it went, okay, this can work. This is what we're going to do. And in between there was also one for the Sega Saturn. A lot of people forget that one. And that one wasn't terrible, but that wasn't really what we needed either.
Yeah, but that will require us to remember the Sega Saturn.
Remember the Sega Saturn. It's better than you remember.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Pop, 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 pew, pew, pew.
Okay. Well, GoldenEye, no,
All right,
it's definitely a good one.
Yes, it's on you, man. It's on you. Okay. What's your next one?
Okay, well, my next pick is, I guess, sort of surprising since I talk so much shit about Nintendo, but look, when they do something right, they do something right. And something that they do right is party games. And I'm not going to pick Mario Party because I hate that, even though everyone else likes it. It's all luck-based. I have no idea why you even bother playing. You might as well just hit like CPU and just like let it go. You might as well. But one that they absolutely got right, and in my opinion, the best one in the franchise, Mario Kart Double Dash.
Mario Kart Double Dash. Yeah.
If you're looking at a good party game, and I'm meaning this more in terms of party, then Double Dash is right there because you have the 2 people mechanic in it. If you're looking at racing games, maybe not Double Dash, but yeah, Double Dash great for partying.
I could maybe. I mean, I will say one thing. The one that came out recently, Mario Kart 8, yeah, and in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is arguably the best one, and especially because they have the 2 item mechanic now in Deluxe that makes it almost like Double Dash.
Yeah, I have to defer to you guys on this one because my last real system Nintendo wise was I don't even consider the Wii my system because I got that for my kids.
Right.
So the last real Nintendo system for me was the 64.
Okay. Well, I mean, I will say this though, Double Dash still is the most unique one out of the entire franchise because they never went back to the 2-person mechanic ever again. And that's for people who think, Mario Kart's the same thing over and over again every single entry. That's why, because they never did anything different after Double Dash.
Yeah.
And as a result, that's also why that's the one that's seen as the exception to that rule. Another reason also, and this is something that doesn't get talked about a lot, is that was the one game I don't remember them ever doing this either, where you had character-specific power-ups. Where only if you picked a certain character would you be able to get certain items. Like, for example, Mario and Luigi had a fire blast that would cover the entire road. You had Peach, who could like freeze everyone, I think. I can't remember, but she had some sort of power up. It was sort of like, I remember it was some kind of defensive item, but it was like it would freeze everybody or something. I can't remember. But one of the things that me and my friends would always do, and the reason why this game is so much fun and so chaotic, is we would always make sure that we would get some sort of combination of Bowser Jr., Donkey Kong Jr., and there's 3 of us, so there's going to be 6 characters. Or the Koopa Troopa or the Paratroopa.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because the Paratroopa, the Koopas would get 3 shells, either green or red. The Bowser and Bowser Jr. would get this giant Bowser shell that would go bouncing around the road. And then Donkey and Diddy Kong would get this giant banana that if you hit it would explode into a bunch of little bananas. So it's like a spread bomb. You get those power-ups and those characters. You go to Baby Park.
Oh.
And Baby Park, which is, of course, it's a very small course to the point that you actually have to do 7 laps instead of the normal 3, because it's just literally going in an oval, around and around again. It's a very boring course, but if you put those power-ups in there, and you have you going at 155cc, the fastest speed, power-ups don't go away after a lap in that game. So pretty soon, that small little circuit is filled with bananas and shells and giant shells careening off of the things, and it's absolute madness. And it's
pandemonium. That's what always makes a good game, because you get it chaotic.
So fun.
Yeah, you get it chaotic like that, and you'll just be laughing through the entire match, which is awesome.
Oh yeah.
You'll somehow get hit by a giant shell that was released like 2 laps ago. You'd be careening into your own shell because somehow it hit the angle of the curve angle just wrong ways, and it like shot out this way and then just literally just came back at you. You'd be bursting all over the place because at that point we were all very good, and so we know how to be bursting and everything and doing tight turns and everything, and having to think on the fly because it's not just a matter of making the turns, because you'll have these giant shells and bananas all over the place.
Yep.
And that was always the finale. Something else I would also say is that the courses in that game are also very well put together. There's a lot of different gimmicks that a lot of them will have, whether it be cows going by, or you having to dodge cars on a metropolitan street, or just like the weird like level hopping almost of the Donkey Kong level, where you get shot out through a barrel and then you go down a mountain and then have to like do that all over again. But yeah, like the Baby Park stuff, even though it's supposed to be like a dumb level that nobody cares about, you do that and it's insanity, and it's so much fun, and it always ends up becoming the finale. It's so good, in fact, and this is why actually Mario Kart 8 is arguably the better one, is because they put Baby Park in that game. They put Baby Park back in the game.
Yep.
The only difference is they made it anti-gravity, because the anti-gravity is now a mechanic in that game.
Yeah.
It's not as chaotic because they got rid of the player-specific power-ups, and as a result, the giant banana and the giant shell still aren't in the game. But it's still pretty fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
So my pick is Double Dash. It's insane. And it's really fun.
Yep.
Nice.
Well, do we want to do a quick one, or do we want to go to break?
You know what? Let's go ahead and do a break really quick, ladies and gentlemen. We have plenty of party left. You know, it has not hit 2000. The party's not over. So stay with us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Still have this much to go through, people.
Goodness. Oh my goodness.
We're back.
Hello. Hello. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have returned. The party continues, and we didn't even know you were there.
I can't
How
talk
you
about other
doing?
stuff during the mid break.
That's right. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Oh, I'm sorry. Where we were trying to go and see what Sean was going to bless us with in terms of his second pick for great party games and his pantheon of party. Let her rip.
Like I said, Wii, fantastic console. And it was a very good console for party games as well.
Yes, it was. It really was.
So, and one of the best ones was Wii Sports.
Hell, damn it, man. That was my freaking pick. What's wrong with you?
You know what?
Yes.
Do we already know two of your picks?
Think alike.
Those were freaking, that was a freaking perfect game to have on the Wii, kind of like freaking Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. It was like the perfect thing to have on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
Had a perfect suite.
If it was something that was just like, yeah, maybe one small thing or two. No, it was fully fledged. You had 5 different mini games. You had the whole fitness tracker thing where you had like a bunch of 3 mini games where it just threw them randomly at you, and you could just play through that. You had tennis. Tennis is amazing.
Tennis was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You have your
Bowling.
That was one that all your grandmas got the Wii for. Like, oh, I can play bowling without even going to the bowling alley.
Yes.
That's what my grandma sounded like.
Yeah.
And then you had, boxing, which basically said, hey, buy the nunchuck. Your baseball that you would hit your nieces and nephews in the head with because you swung too hard at the bat.
Or you hit the television because you released the nunchuck and it hit the television set. Yeah.
That's true. And then you had golf that nobody, I think, played.
Yeah, I didn't play golf.
I liked it.
Yeah, I couldn't handle it. But Esteban did.
I liked it. I mean, it wasn't really a party game, but I mean, I liked it by myself. It was fine.
But see, that's the thing. It was something
One-man party.
Yeah.
And you had a couple of people there. You had 4 people. You could play doubles tennis, and a lot of people say, well, Mario Tennis was just as good, if not better. Mm-hmm. This one was just frantic and chaotic.
Pretty much.
And you may say like Wii Sports Resort or some of the other ones are better because you had the attachment, the Motion Plus or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Actually better. No, give me the old janky controls that you had to like fool around with, because then you had people angry at the controls. You had them frantically going back and forth. It tired you out. It was so much fun.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Just fucking do it.
Yes. Wii Sports. That was my jammy jam. Have lots of very fond memories of challenging my grandma to bowling, her beating me, or my mom challenging my sister's boyfriend to bowling and bragging about it after she beat him and all that other kind of stuff. Because they were like, oh, yeah, I know how to put just the right curve, a hook on the ball, acting as if they're really, really doing real bowling with the little Wii Sports thing. It's like, you gotta release with your thumb up like this when you do it. And just watching them talk about it, them literally walking up to the television set like they're really doing their, really doing the walk up to the foul line to release the ball. The whole 9. It's absolute comedy. It was always the perfect time. We would do it, and we'd always whip it out like at Thanksgiving. So it was like right before everyone was ready to eat or whatever. You work up a nice little sweat. Everyone would bowl. Everyone would get upset at each other, and then be all happy that so and so won, and then we'd go eat. It was perfect.
Yeah. And then go back to it after you're done eating and help work off some of those calories.
Pretty much. Yes. It was awesome. Very good.
I do associate Wii Sports a lot with Thanksgiving because the Wii was one of the few consoles I actually got at launch. And
Mhm.
Yeah, that came with it. So it was like right after you ate because it came out around Thanksgiving time.
Yep.
It was right after you ate or right before, and you just go and play a bunch. I remember getting that, and it was like, hey, I got the new system. Come check out Wii Sports. Friends came over and like, this is cool. This is weird. What the fuck is wrong with the boxing?
Yes, yes. Nintendo knocked it out of the park with that.
Because you'd be
That
going like
was
this, and sometimes it wouldn't register. It's like, what the? I'm punching you.
great. Yep, pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wii Sports,
awesome.
That's
Awesome.
That's a good
BJ,
thing.
what else you got on your list?
All
Before
right, so I'm not going to release the granddaddies that are on my list as of yet, since you've already stolen like a couple of them on my list. I'm going to
But we
say
haven't talked about them yet.
that's what I'm saying. We talked about in like a little bit, like a blur, but I'm going to say it, okay. After Wii Sports like dominated every party or whatever, the very, very next one that I got that was like the absolute party game for myself, and you guys probably already know what this one is, was Rock Band.
Okay, good. I specifically did not put this on my list because I knew that someone else on this freaking podcast would have to put it on there. Okay? Someone would have to.
It was kind of unavoidable, and I have very, very fond memories of arguing with gamers as to whether or not I should have gotten Guitar Hero first or freaking Rock Band or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But my whole thing was I wanted to be able to play and have people do all the instruments, not just the guitar, because we all know Guitar Hero, or what was it, Guitar, whichever one it was with the damn band, sucked balls. So the one that was good that had
World
the
Tour.
drum set. Say what?
World Tour. Guitar
World
Hero,
Tour.
World Tour.
Yes. World Tour sucked ass. Okay.
That's good.
But
all right.
I mean, it was. Let me rephrase. It wasn't
Rock Band is
horrible.
better.
It would exact. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. I was one of the Rock Band heads back then. So yes,
I started with Guitar Hero and then immediately
Hero
switched over to
sucked
Rock
ass for me
Band
back then.
when that came
Yeah,
out.
right. But we all know that once Rock Band hit and dropped, it threw like the whole rhythm game like genre into the stratosphere, because Rock Band, I don't know what it was. It had, I don't want to say worse songs than Guitar Hero, but it seemed to have a different playlist that was not necessarily even more acceptable. It was just more widely accepted than some of the playlists that Guitar Hero had, because Guitar Hero was looked at as the more technical, more Dark Soulsy guitar, kind of difficulty. It was hard. So it was kind of intimidating for people when they kind of walked up and had never played a rhythm game like that before. In steps Rock Band, you've got easier songs. You've got a wider range of songs, some that are just freaking easy as balls. And then you've got others that were nightmare level or whatever, with little demon signs, instead of the stars and everything. So between the drum set and playing the bass line or singing or playing the guitar, you could always find something for somebody in the household or in the party to do, So it was always a great game to pull out. I'd pull it out at like cookouts and stuff like that. I'd have people going bonkers, singing and everything. I would literally have my boy's whole family, his wife, his daughters, as well as himself, and they would go and they do a song and they compete against me, my wife, and my sons, and we would rotate on songs and compete with each other on certain songs or whatever, and see what kind of scores we could get, all that other kind of stuff. So yeah, Rock Band was life for me, both online as well as offline, in terms of like parties and playing with a bunch of people for a long time. Long time.
Yeah. Between Rock Band, Guitar Hero, and kind of Wii Sports, they put the plastic peripheral business on the map for a good few years.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they oversaturated the market with peripherals around that time frame. So Mad Catz was loving it.
Yeah.
And I forget what the other little peripheral companies were, but they were bonkers.
Harmonix is the company that made them, and I think they made them themselves.
No, Harmonix
Harmonix
didn't.
was part of Rock Band, wasn't it? They were.
Yeah, Harmonix was the developer. So they had theirs. Mad Catz.
Mad Catz made the new ones, but back then when they were actually really profitable,
they made like knockoff versions that weren't really good back then, but they still sold a decent amount.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
Rock Band. Okay. Rock Band is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. This is for those who don't remember. This is all you could hear people doing next door. It was just freaking, you'd have to put the stupid pads on the drum set so it wouldn't make so much noise. But people hated in like apartment buildings. You just walk by certain doors and just.
Yeah. Rock Band is actually one of my favorite games of all time. I adore that. That whole music peripheral stuff is actually something that I jumped on early. I started on Guitar Hero 1 on the PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that, and I played the hell out of that. And that was back when all the songs were covers. And I was like, this is fun. I like it. And it's like, oh my God, they got freaking Franz Ferdinand Take Me Out and shit. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I really like the Queen song, Killer Queen. And everyone was like, what the fuck is that? And it's like, you only know Bohemian Rhapsody. Shut up. Because I love rock music more than any other genre, and that's what they would focus on, And like, I had a friend who was really into DDR back in the day, but that's music wasn't really for me, even though I thought it was still kind of fun. But this just like hit the nail on the head, and I adored it. And then Rock Band came out, and you can do all this with the whole band, and then. The thing is that the microphone was like kind of like a real microphone. So like,
it kind of was.
So like, I happen to have a mic stand. So I would be like, because there was only 3 of us with me and my friends, I would do double duty. I would do double duty. So I was both guitarist and singer. But the problem though, and then the reason why I ended up not putting it on my list is, you're right. The market got saturated, and my friends lost interest really quickly, to the point that I'm kind of glad that I got that microphone stand, because I ended up playing that game by myself a lot.
Yeah, I did too.
Like a lot.
In between those moments, those holidays and stuff like that, I did play that game a lot by myself. Yes.
I specifically remember one time being like, "Hey, come on, let's play Rock Band," and no one wanted to play. And what ended up happening was, I was on the couch, or I was standing in front of right in front of the couch, because I was standing up and playing the game, and my friends were behind me by the door, being like, "Let's go to a coffee shop."
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I was like, because at that point I think I had gotten the Beatle one. So I was like,
okay, yeah.
So I was like, by myself playing the guitar part and singing and going, "Lucy in the sky with diamonds." Because everyone else lost interest, and I was still in love with it. I was all the way until, God, I was the dude buying them every time they would release, and even though I liked Rock Band more, I was still on the Guitar Hero train. So I was also getting Guitar Hero Aerosmith and 3, and I got World Tour, and I got Rock Band 2. I think that's where I finally stopped. I think it was Rock Band 2, or the Beatle one might have been the last one, whichever one came out last.
I want to say the Beatle one was in between 1 and 2.
Because, or wait, did I get Guitar Hero 5? I might have. That might have been the last one. I meant like the latest one because I know I didn't get Guitar Hero Metallica.
With
I
the
know,
weird radio, with the weird radios. Oh, dude, me and my boy played the freaking hell out of Metallica. That was like the only Guitar Hero one that I bought. The
I would have
Metallica.
been into it, but I think at that point I had finally gotten burned out because including all like buying these games. Remember, these games also had DLC.
Oh,
So
hell
I was
yeah,
also
yeah.
buying
Trust me,
tracks.
I bought and still have way too many of those.
Yeah, they're still on my Xbox 360 hard drive.
I finally did break down and delete them all.
Yeah,
I did because it takes up a lot of space.
Yeah, well, they're still on there and not being used. But it's funny because if I could find, because I don't have any of the equipment anymore. The Rock Band,
I still do.
The Rock Band
I
drums,
literally have one sitting right behind my real guitar.
the Rock Band drums died on me, and then I ended up having to sell the guitars as well as, to be perfectly honest, I ended up selling a whole lot of stuff around 2009 because of other stuff, the housing market thing happened. So it was like, we need money. So, stuff like that happened. But if I could find like at least the guitar, I would be playing that still to this day. I don't care.
I still have Rock. I have Rock Band 3. I have the little 360 adapter, wireless adapter thing, so that you can use your old Rock Band stuff with the new Rock Band on my Xbox One. I haven't downloaded as many of the songs, and the only reason I literally, I shit you not, the only reason why I don't play and stream that now is because my setup in front of my television set doesn't have the room for me to set up the drum set and fit at it and everything. I would literally have to play like this because there's not really, my couch takes up so much room.
Yeah.
Like, if my wife did not hate it so much, I would have it upstairs. I'd have my 360 permanently parked upstairs with all my Rock Band stuff in the corner so that I could play it whenever I want to. Because, dude, what was that album? The Death Magnetic album from Metallica was the DLC, right? And me and my boy, that was, I don't want to say that was my coming out in terms of my love of metal music, but it kind of was, because I wasn't really into metal music until around that time frame, and I actually owe that to Rock Band. Because I kind of like rock music, but I wasn't into it enough to learn different types of rock and the different bands that are great in those particular areas. I liked Red Hot Chili Peppers. I liked David Bowie a little bit. I liked Metallica, but I didn't know like a lot of songs or a lot of the albums or anything. So when Rock Band came out and it would go through progressions from grunge and everything, which my wife loves, by the way, she was the alternative rock queen. Yeah. So she knew all those songs. I was all up into like the metal songs and stuff like that. And then of course Rock Band kind of diversified it a bit more, and they had some of the pop songs, they had some old funks, they had like James Brown and some stuff like that on there, Jimi Hendrix and right? So Rock Band literally expanded my own personal knowledge of music just through playing. I discovered bands playing Rock Band. I wasn't into Paramore.
With a lot of people.
Yeah, I wasn't into Paramore until I started playing Rock Band. Queens of the Stone Age. I wasn't really into them until I played Rock Band and everything. So it was one of those kind of games that was more than just, I had fun with it. It literally opened my mind to a lot more music and artists and stuff that I had never heard of before.
I think Rock Band did a lot for that type of music. Specifically, I think like a lot of the bands that are on there, especially for my generation, even though BJ, I know you're older than me, but you're more or less my generation. You're not that much older.
Yeah.
you hear about these older bands, and you be like, oh well, you hear about it like, oh, there's this band is awesome, and this is why they're awesome, and you just go like, okay, I believe you, I guess, and you just don't know. But then you hear it for yourself, and you can do it in a way that you can enjoy, and then you're like, oh, they are awesome, and then it doesn't matter that they're 20, 30 years old, music. And as someone who like grew up on that stuff, and that's like my favorite kind of stuff, to me, this is just like a celebration of that. And as someone who just wants more people to enjoy that, I'm like, yes, this is great. Please enjoy the same thing I like. I welcome everyone, please, right? And that's what that ended up doing, and I really appreciate it for that. But
I think kind of the other key for me with it was not only just the appreciation for learning new songs and new bands and that kind of thing. It really gave you more of an appreciation for the individual components of each one of those bands. Yeah. So like anytime you would play, it was one of those things. People got into that discussion about, oh, anytime you played a Police song, the drums were hard as shit. Because, and I don't know the guy's name, but he's an absolutely fabulous drummer, and it was showcased by the songs that were on Rock Band. All of those drum parts on all of those Police songs were absolutely hard, even if the rest of the song was simple.
The guy's name is Stuart Copeland, and
Copeland,
and he's also the composer of the Spyro games.
There you go. But I mean, you go from that to, playing Boston or, just going through a lot of the different bands and stuff like that and recognizing some of the songs. And, and half the time you think about or listen to the song and you're like, oh, I absolutely love that solo or da-da-da-da. And then when you actually attempt to play it on your fake instrument or whatever, and you're sitting there like, it freaking blows your mind because you realize how many notes that they're playing in a given second or whatever, and how many,
and or how many jumps playing. You have to go from one to the other, or the skill involved, depending on the play style.
Right. So, and recognizing how many chords they're shuffling through over the course of a few seconds in that particular solo, and how difficult it must be to play on an actual instrument. It gives you more of an appreciation for it, for a particular song, even. Not even just for the, that particular artist or band or whatever, but for that particular song. So it was one of those eye-opening, absolutely mind-blowing kind of games that I thought was just an absolute joy. I absolutely love Rock Band. Yeah. And they were actually one of my first, Harmonix was actually one of my first big interviews when I started doing podcasting. So,
oh, cool.
So yeah, they always hold a very special place there just for that fact. They were one of the first interviews that I did doing podcasting. So it was cool.
Nice.
Lots of fun.
All right. Well, we spent a lot of time on Rock Band. I should have put it on my list after all, but
yeah.
I'm gonna go through this one just because my next one really quickly, because I don't think a lot needs to be said. It's pretty obvious. Well, I'm essentially just combining my last two picks. Let's take a fighting game and let's get a Nintendo fighting game.
Okay.
Smash Brothers Melee.
Yes, I figured somebody was going to have that on the list, so yeah, I'm glad you said it.
I'm surprised Sean didn't spoil that one.
I knew you were going to say it. That's why I didn't say anything.
Pew, pew, pew. Okay. Shots fired.
It's what can I say? It's a fun game. It's the one that feels the best. I would actually argue that Smash 4 actually got close, but it didn't have the retention that Melee had. And then we'll see what the new one does. But
Ultimate.
Yeah, what Ultimate does. But Melee was perfect timing because it came out during high school for me. Me and my friends were always hanging out during that time. We just always going back and forth through that game. I'm actually not terrific at that game. but I enjoyed the hell out of it, and we always go back to going to playing Melee even after even all these years, even after we had gotten Brawl and like, oh, let's play Brawl. Yeah, oh yeah, Brawl's kind of fun. And I was like, hell yeah, I got Sonic now. But then after a while, we'd be like, let's go back to Melee. But yeah, it speaks for itself. It's a fighting game made for partying, which is kind of why I think it's not really a fighting game. It's really more of a party game, or maybe its own separate thing. But that's another discussion. But none of that is to take away from it to say that it's not great. It's absolutely fantastic, and especially Melee. There's a lot you can do too, different settings and stuff like that, and first player modes and. Mm-hmm. And just different weird stuff you can do. Final Destination, just nothing to hide from.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great. Oh, but fuck the Pokemon Floats level.
Floats, come on.
Damn.
Fuck that level, man. They fucked up on that level. You know what? I don't mind the
Floats, baby. Look at that.
I don't mind Pokemon Stadium. Pokemon Stadium's great. The floats.
But that's not what he said.
No.
I say this never playing Melee.
Me either, actually.
Personally, I played Brawl. I actually played Project M for Brawl. So that's the closest I've played to Melee. Mm-hmm. I have played the original. I have played the original on an emulator because I wanted to get the Smash experience. Mm-hmm. And the one that I've played the most actually was Smash for Wii U. Mm-hmm. That's the one I actually...
Wii U? The deuce?
Huh?
Yeah.
Wii U? You played the Wii U?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just figured I'd tease you about that for no apparent reason.
Well, I think
it's a console. I played games on it, so yes, I played it.
He's making a masturbation joke.
Logic. How does that make you feel?
Not very good, but okay. Okay.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I played that one quite a bit. Mm-hmm. I own that one. Oddly enough, my main was Little Mac, even though I am horrible at that character. And I tend to agree with you. It is more of a party game rather than your traditional fighting game.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of it coming out and saying, you know what? We don't need the fact that it's just depleting health bars that makes a fighting game good. It said, let's take this idea of a fighting game. Let's tweak it a bit to where, yeah, it does damage, but that's not the only thing that you have to do. And it said, oh, this is really good and really fun. And so you have imitators everywhere trying to copy that style, and nobody was good enough to actually replicate it.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, they're no ones who very.
And this is coming from a person who absolutely adores PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale. So yeah.
Wow. Okay.
No, don't worry. I won't tease you about that either. Don't worry. I won't.
No, feel free to tease me. That game is not that good.
I mean, I have it, but I don't even remember the last time I touched it.
Awesome. So, Sean, you want to try to slip yours in before we hit our last break, or?
I think we are. Yeah, I think we're good for one more break. I think
good for one more break.
Nice break will help us release all the rest of our games out there, and then after that,
okay.
So.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, you heard it. You heard it first from Heartbreak Kid. We're gonna take a little break here for this short commercial break, even though there's not gonna be a commercial in the break. Either way, just stick with us. We'll be right back. Yay! Party, party, party. Ew! Did you just sneeze on me? Ew. Ew.
Party
Ew.
I
foul.
cover my mouth.
Oh, party's over. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking with this, even though Sean just sneezed all over all of you guys. Hello. Oh, did it again. Son of a.
And he
I
went into the
left.
corner. He went in the corner and did it. He's fine.
That's true. That's true. I still felt a little bit of spray over on this side of my face, okay?
At this
Oh,
point,
man.
you're too close to him. You're too
But I
internet
have to be
close.
close. I have to be close, man. Daggone it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, in between the sneezes, Sean was actually formulating in his head what his next party game was going to be, since we spent a grandiose amount of time on me and Esteban's favorite rock band. So yes,
I mean, technically it was your pick, but I was like, oh, I got to get in on that.
that's true. I mean, we had to have it in there. Everyone knows it was going to be on a list, if not every list. So that.
Yeah.
So yeah, lay it on us, Sean. Lay it on us.
So
And don't steal another one on my list. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna go with one that I'm surprised nobody's brought up.
Oh, great. It's probably on my list. Go ahead. Go
Probably.
ahead.
Just honestly, just gonna steal it.
Go ahead.
It's actually a compilation of games, and they come out with a lot of these every year.
Okay,
Not
you're
every
going to say that.
Oh,
But they come up with a compilation of these every so often. So, Jackbox, the Jackbox Party Pack.
Those are actually really fun to watch sometimes.
They're really fun to watch. They're really fun to play, and it's more for people who are more into board games.
Yes.
So you have those games like Cards Against Humanity and Uno and other games like that you'll find online versions of course, because a lot of board games will now have the video game equivalents.
Yep.
But it's always those type of games where you're able to say, okay, I'm going to put the game on my TV screen. Everybody pulls out their phones and logs in and all that. And it's just super fun to play. You have a bunch of different games to choose from. So it's like, oh, yeah, I played a couple of games of this. Let's switch it up and play something else. Or let's, move around. People be on different teams. It's so good and so fun. And I think they're on pack number 5 right now.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, there are. I think each one has like almost 6 or 7 games in it or something like that, right?
Yeah. Granted, it's not one that you're going to sit down and play alone. I think it's impossible to play alone.
It's not a alone experience. There's a lot of little trivia games and stuff like that. It's a blast to play with friends, though.
Yeah, but if you're one of the people that has a lot of people over every so often, just pop that in. Say, hey, look, everybody, grab your phones. We're gonna play a little bit of some of these games, and everybody has a good time.
Mm-hmm. Very good pick.
I have heard of these. I have heard they are fun. I have never played them, and I know very little about it, so I got nothing else to say.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your 2 cents.
I got nothing good about it to say. So
maybe we should play them soon all together.
We could maybe do that.
Maybe. Yeah, I can't remember the one that I played. I played one of them one time. Or was I watching it? I think I was watching it. Either way, I know they're good. Good pick, Sean. Good pick. Very, very good pick.
Good pick. And I tried to stay away from ones that you might have on your list. So looking out for you.
You better. All right? You better. Okay. So this one is an odd pick, but I'm going to throw it out there because I've got some old school. I've got an old school one that I have to put out as my last one later. But this one I have to put on there because this, for me, was like the origin of LAN parties when I was like close to kind of out of college at that time. But still, it was just one of those absolute must-have LAN party kind of games. Halo.
I knew it.
Yeah, it was. You could get Blood Gulch for free, in the little demo disc or whatever, and it was absolute hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Just jumping into Blood Gulch, running around, running over people. Dude, red versus blue. That's all I have to say.
I love that show.
All the red versus blue episodes were basically stuff that I had with my friends, literally, where we were not always doing the voices, but it was pretty damn close. You know what I mean? Just sniping each other, shooting each other with pistols from across the freaking map. Rockets from across the map to make your warthog do flips in the air and then land on all of its wheels and still keep going. And everybody go, "What the fuck? I hit you with a freaking rocket!" Oh,
Hey, you ever wonder why we're out here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, dude, I don't know. Who would put a freaking base right in the middle of this thinking valley? It's like, what are we supposed to do? What do we do out of it? I don't know. What are they doing? Dude, I don't know. He's just standing there. What do you mean he's just standing there? He's looking at us. But we're looking at him. Yeah. Dude, freaking love it. That's what we would we would spend entirely too much time doing and redoing Blood Gulch, over and over and over again. Who could get to the freaking fuel rod gun first in the middle of the map, that kind of thing. We absolutely would have a blast playing Halo. And it was just one freaking map. One map, and we'd go bonkers over it.
Yeah. And then the other maps are pretty good too, but yeah, Blood Gulch is epic.
Yeah. And that Blood Gulch is epic just because it was free at the time. So, you get the whole game, of course. Yeah, you used to do all snipers. All snipers was ridiculous. That was freaking amazing, having that kind of fun. Whatever map it was with the freaking ice. So trying to drive around with freaking ice was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, that was horrid.
So, yeah, dude, then running around and surprising people with shotguns or sticking grenades on their forehead and watching them run around for a little while before they explode.
I have some good memories with Halo because you know how I was saying, like, I don't really like GoldenEye and all those games, right? Halo was the very first-person shooter I liked.
That's understandable.
I should also point out that
mine was probably Doom, though. Doom was, I went bonkers when Doom first came out.
Well, that's what I was about to say. I should also point out that when I was a kid, I was also pretty poor, so we didn't have a computer. So I didn't get a chance.
Okay. You didn't get the Doom experience.
So I didn't get Doom or Quake or anything like that.
Yeah, I didn't like Quake, but Doom was the shiznit.
Yeah, or even Unreal. At least not yet. I ended up.
I didn't like Unreal.
I ended up liking like Unreal Tournament and all that stuff, but it was 2003. So because I finally got in a computer by that time, so.
Right.
All that. But before that, it was Halo. So I had to rely on consoles, and it was Halo. And specifically with the multiplayer, I specifically remember at that point I was living in a house, and we had 2 living rooms, and then in between the living room there was kind of like an archway that was supposed to be like nice for like molding and everything, right? Well, one night I had my friends over, and we used that archway so that we can pass the cables through the 2 rooms, and then we had 2 TVs set up, so team versus team, you couldn't look at each other's screens as a result. And that was epic. Because you could hook up 2 Xboxes, like 8 players.
Yes.
And man, it was a lot of fun. I think that's the only. No. I did a couple times later after that, but. Yeah, that was my first LAN party. I think the only time I did it like that for Halo 1. And it was a lot of fun. That first Halo in particular, I really enjoyed too, because I really enjoy the campaign in that one as well. It's a lot of fun.
It's a blast. Yeah.
I ended up falling out with Halo 2 though. I mean, that was big for everyone because of Xbox Live and everything, but I never ended up getting much into it.
Oh yeah, when we would go bonkers on. That was, dude, first-person shooters back then that was like prime time gaming, because one of my close friends that I worked or used to work with at the time, our friendship literally started on Halo, and we blasted through like the first few Call of Duties when the Call of Duty was big.
Mm-hmm.
Black Ops, World at War, Halo 2, Halo 3,
Yeah.
all of those. We blasted through all those first person shooters together. He doesn't work with me anymore, but we still kind of play together. But dude, that a core of the part of the core of our friendship was started right there on freaking Halo. And that game, lots of great memories.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
yes, that is my entry into the Party Hall of Fame.
yeah, I guess that's all of them, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess
Did
I
you
should
have any
say
more?
that. And I mean, Rock Band, I guess at this point should be an honorary fourth pick for me. Talk so damn much about it.
Yeah.
Yes. What
But
about
other
you,
than
Sean?
that,
Did you have any? Did you have any more?
Me? I only had like another one I just thought of while we were talking because you didn't bring it up, but Pokemon Stadium.
Ooh.
oh, okay, for on the N64.
Yeah,
Mhm.
N64, Pokemon Stadium, and Pokemon Stadium 2.
Okay.
Those are just really good games, especially for people who really liked Pokemon. You can just go in there, pick your team, and then just have at it.
I remember buying that game immediately after going to see the movie.
Oh,
I saw the movie in theaters.
So good.
Saw the movie in theaters. I remember coming out of the theaters. We went to the store. I bought that game. Came back. I had already Pokemon Red and Blue. I never ended up playing much of that game though, and the reason why is because we quickly realized that if we wanted to like use our Pokemon from the Game Boy games, we would all have to buy a copy. We would all have to get the transfer pack and everything, and it was just too much money.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice.
All right. What about you, BJ?
All right. So my last entry isn't even 100% just one game, but it's almost like a genre, but I'll whittle it down to one game. All right.
Okay.
So everyone knows probably one of the easier entry points to games in general, or, for a party or whatever, depending on who's at the party, of course, are sports games. Right.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So, like back in the day, we all know when Madden was really Madden, back like in the 90s or whatever, Madden was massive. Madden was huge. I mean, it's still huge now, but it was huge back then too. So, college, anytime in a college dorm or something like that, or, running over to your friend's house or whatever, 3 or 4 friends challenging each other in games of Madden or whatever that was like the baseline for a lot of my friends or whatever when it came to video games. And of course, I was always the basketball head, so I kind of played Madden back then, but NBA Live was my thing, or Lakers versus Celtics, all those little EA Sports games back then. So, I dominated on the basketball and I just kind of competed on the Madden games or whatever back then. But I really didn't get like really, really big party kind of games with those. It was mostly just me and 1 or 2 other friends or whatever until around the NBA Street kind of time frame.
Yeah.
And that was because it was a good entry point for, you could kind of say NBA Jam because everyone loved and played NBA Jam. But I kind of whittled it down to NBA Street because even though I liked NBA Jam, it seemed a little too easy for me, playing against certain people that didn't really play basketball or didn't really know all the teams or characters.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because that was an arcade game. That game is not easy because at some point, like most arcade games, it's just there to steal your quarters.
Right. Yeah. So it got a bit more competitive in like a party or whatever when you played NBA Street because of like the special moves that all the different players had and everything like that. Right.
Yeah.
So NBA Street for me was a big one because, and even today, it was one of those games where everyone was looking for that next evolution of NBA Jam. Everyone's like, oh, we need another NBA Jam game that doesn't just update the rosters or whatever. So when NBA Street was out there, all the little special moves and stuff you could do with all the characters, they came off perfectly. It had a really, really good art style to it. It had really, really good, you know, great historic characters as well as recent characters and stuff like that you could play in it. Loved the street ball moves and maneuvers that were in it as well. So it was over the top in that way. It was more Rucker Park, whereas NBA Jam was just more arcade.
Yeah. He's
on fire, back and forth. It wasn't really special.
Is there one specifically that you're going to pick? Because there was 4 of them.
I was kind of partial to, I want to say the second one.
Volume 2, I think that was.
Volume 2. I was kind of partial to that one. After Volume 2, it kind of got old for me.
Yeah.
The first one was great, but it felt like it was missing something. Volume 2, I felt like it kind of got it where it was trying to go without being NBA Jam and still have all the special moves and all the people and Jordan and all other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
After that, I just kind of lost interest in it, So
most people say that Volume 2 is the best one. I've played those games. I think they're a lot of fun. No one played them with me though, so that's why I can consider it a party game.
That was kind of mine, but I think probably a more universal one that's easier for people. Even outside of NBA Jam is Tecmo Bowl.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that, but I've never played it.
Yeah, Tecmo Bowl, I swear. I mean, because it was an arcade game, even before NBA Jam or whatever, it was like one of the first really, really good sports video games out there that kind of made you feel like there was some skill level involved. And, that whole mechanic of, somebody trying to tackle you and you having to freaking nerf the joystick in order to shake them off and then keep going made people that had never played football feel like they were freaking Uber players. Anyone could kind of figure that out. Even if you couldn't figure out how to throw the ball and catch the ball and, go, you could always just run the ball and just shake the controller and just keep running, right?
Yeah.
So Tecmo Bowl, it still kind of stands the test of time. It's one of the few games from way back then that they make updates for to this day for people to play because it's still a really good sports game.
All right.
So yeah, sports games.
Cool.
Hall of Fame.
That's cool.
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, the party is something that we don't think should ever stop, don't stop, won't stop, can't stop. So you have got to let us know what you guys occasionally play here and there when it comes to party games. What games do you guys like? What games do you guys play? So definitely you've got to contact us. You got to chat with us. Send us messages on Twitter to either Shaded Pixels, @ShadedPixels, which is our Twitter handle. Let us know what you guys play. And definitely keep the party going. Lots of fun. Love this episode. Yes. So let's do the roundtable, people. Let's let the people know what we're getting into before we chop it up and get out of here.
Yeah.
All right. Esteban, start us off.
Me? Okay. On youtube.com/colorwin, I got jack shit going up this week.
Oh.
I had a weird week and I couldn't prepare any videos, so sorry about that. I will say though that next week is going to be a whole bunch of Yakuza Kiwami 2 because I can finally put those VODs up now that YouTube's copyright stuff is finally going to leave me alone.
Beautiful.
Streams, I'm going to try to stream because I surprisingly streamed Soul Calibur 6 last Thursday night. I wasn't expected to do that because I wasn't expecting even to get the game, but we got the money just in time, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get a game," and then I'm gonna stream it. I'm gonna probably stream more of that. I don't know when, but I'm gonna try Thursday. Let's do that. I will try Thursday night. Let's see if I'm able to do it. Um, let's see what else. Up on my WordPress site, heycolorwin.wordpress.com. My gaming landscape just went up today. New schedule. It's going to be going up on Tuesdays now, and it's going to cover from Monday to Sunday. Gives me some time to put it up and get it out to you guys in a better fashion while also not rushing me. So that's the new schedule. And I got a couple of music reviews I did really quick, mini reviews.
There you go.
There's
Nice.
something because I actually heard some new music recently, and I decided to do some quick reviews on them, so you can check those out as well. Yeah, that's it. Just follow me on socials at Hey Colorwin, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Tumblr, LinkedIn, freaking all the things. I got a Patreon that's under that name too. If you want to donate to me,
MySpace?
probably.
Jeez.
I did have a MySpace. I don't even know if it's still up. It was 10 years old, but yeah. Yeah, that's me. So, Sean, how are you? What do you got up the pipe today?
All
this
right.
week, whatever.
So I still have my. I'm trying to stick more to my schedule going out. So yesterday, I had another PUBG video playing with my friends, and then tomorrow I'll have another episode of Murdered Soul Suspect go out. I'm gonna try to end episodes of that playthrough kind of early, just because I feel like that's more of an October, November type of game. So once that's done, I'll probably end that and then start a playthrough of another game. Probably, I'll post out what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to start trying to put videos out on Saturdays as well. So the new one that I have going out, I'm going to bring back my old How to Fix series. I'm going to be talking about, hopefully, if it gets out, X-Men Origins Wolverine. But I'm also playing the Fallout 76 beta. So I might also put out my reactions to that on Saturday as well, kind of as a bonus video. But you can always
must do that.
Yeah, so you can always find my reactions on my beautiful face on Facebook at Jonathan Studios, YouTube.com, Jonathan Studios. Twitter is Little Big Ham, as well as Twitch. Twitch is also under that name. Those are the only 4 things I really keep track of. You can try to find me on Instagram. I don't use it. You can try to find me on, I think I have an old Patreon set up. Need to rework then so I can actually make some more money.
Yeah.
But other than that, you can always find me at this Twitter handle right here. But most importantly, the host with the most, BJ, what you got?
I'm not doing a whole lot. I'm really preparing for Red Dead to drop later this week. So I'm definitely going to be jumping all over that. Hopefully, I will not have to herd any cattle in this one, because if I have to herd some damn cattle, that will be a very, very short play session. Otherwise, it'll be a long one because I like being a cowboy. I had a lot of fun with the first Red Dead. So I'm predicting I'm going to have a lot of fun with this one. So I'm hoping this weekend I'll have some time to play and stream it. Tomorrow, I'm hoping I can con my sister and others that I typically play with to hop on and do a bit of poorly played Call of Duty Black Ops 4. We had an absolutely grandabulous time on, when was it? The Friday night after it launched. We played into the wee early hours of the morning. It was absolutely hilarious. I play very badly, but I enjoy it, just mainly because I try to snipe on every single map. And I do not know how to no scope, which is what most people that are good at sniping do. I can't do that. It like boggles my mind how people can do it, but I can't do it. So instead, I do it the slow way. I crouch, I sit, I wait, and then I poorly try to track people that are running around.
That's me. That's me. I can't snipe worth my life.
I can snipe. I just can't do it on Call of Duty. I can snipe till the day is, dark on freaking Battlefield. On Battlefield, I'm excellent as a sniper. I'll headshot you from far away. Call of Duty, it's like I can't do anything. It's too close quarters. The range is just people are running too fast. I can't track them. I can't do any of that stuff. So, yeah. So I usually do most of my streaming. If I do it at all, it'll be at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Twitch TV, Bunna 3000. Follow, get the notifications, all that other kind of stuff. Just jump on there, follow my patootie, and you'll be able to see when I pop up and start playing and acting bonkers all on the interwebs. But yeah, that's really all I have going on. I've actually got a couple of indie games that I did say that I was going to give some FaceTime to by the companies. One called Between the Stars that is currently in early access. I hope to be able to stream pretty soon. I also, what was the other one I was supposed to be doing? I was going to do Skype, the digital edition, but I started looking at what it actually took to learn to play that game. And I said, no, I will just try to find someone who has the board game and learn how to play the board game, because the digital edition is way too complicated. And there was one more. I keep putting this off. I was gonna do a play, just a impressions kind of playthrough of They Are Billions, because I finally got a copy of They Are Billions, and I wanted to see how that was, because when it came out, everyone was talking about it. So eventually, it will be out. Yeah. So yeah, that's all I got, man.
All right.
So
you're the host.
You can always find us over here. This is where you'll find our beautiful faces on the Shade Pixels podcast.
That's right. All the social stuff. It's all listed on
It's all there. Podcast.com is where you can get the audio version. We are also on Spotify and Google Play. You could also get on the audio version of the podcast there. That goes up on Thursday mornings at 10 a.m.
That's right. Preach.
And then the video one will show up on YouTube at bit.ly/shadedpixels, and that's on Wednesday night.
Yes.
Swap it.
I swapped it. The audio ones are on
the audio. Thursday morning, you get the video.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. My mistake. Audio's at night. That's Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, and the audio is 10 a.m. Thursday Eastern.
No, you said it. You said it wrong.
Okay, you said it. Freak.
Let him know, Sean. Let him know.
Audio version, podcast.com, Spotify, Google Play, Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Video version goes up on youtube.com at bit.ly/shadedpixels, and that's at Thursday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific.
Isn't that what I said the second time?
No,
I don't think so. Yeah. It's almost like you repeated yourself in that.
I know you're right. I screwed up the first time, but I thought, okay.
Yeah. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have links to all that kind of stuff in wherever post, anywhere and everywhere we have this posted. So you'll be able to catch it. You'll be able to see it. You'll be able to do it. You'll be able to believe it. You'll be able to achieve it. And ladies and gentlemen, we love having you here. We love you guys. So as always, this is the Shaded Pixels podcast. I am Bunny 3000, Esteban Cuevas, Shawn Richards. We love you guys. Thank you for joining us. Deuces.